Iran is certainly complicit here. Without them, there is no Hamas. Without them, there's no Hezbollah.
It is no secret to anyone in this room or on this council that for years, Iran has supported Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis.
America says that there would be no Hamas without Iran. But the critics of Israel's current Prime Minister say that there would be no Hamas without Benjamin Netanyahu.
כל איש חמאס הוא בן מוות. חמאס זה דאעש, ונרסק ונחסל אותו, כפי שהעולם ריסק וחיסל את דאעש. מה שנעשה לאויבינו בימים הקרובים, יהדהד אצלם לדורות.
And our battle against Hamas is the battle of civilization against barbarism.
Those were just a few times since October 7 when Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu threatened Hamas and vowed to kill each and every member of the Palestinian group. Since the surprise attack by Hamas on Israel, in which nearly 1,500 people were killed, the Israeli government and agencies have been accused of sleeping on the job and failing to realize that planning and preparation for such a huge assault was underway in Gaza. But is that the extent of Netanyahu's culpability? It goes much deeper if you listen to Netanyahu's opponents. Israel's longest-serving prime minister is being accused of trying to use Hamas to achieve what he thinks should happen in the Israel-Palestine conflict. To understand this, let's first look at a map of Israel and Palestinian territories, which are Gaza and West Bank. Israel occupied both these areas during the 1967 war. Gaza is ruled by Hamas, and the autonomous parts of West Bank are ruled by the Palestinian Authority, which is dominated by Hamas's rival party, Fatah. However, Israel has a huge amount of control over these territories. This was seen in the blockade which Israel imposed on Gaza after Hamas's attack. From food to fuel, everything was cut off. The Palestinian Authority ruling the West Bank is also considered largely powerless. To maintain this situation, Netanyahu reportedly used a divide and rule policy. He allegedly prevented any reconciliation between Hamas and Fatah. Hamas had removed Fatah from Gaza in 2007 in a violent coup. If these two groups made an alliance, then the two Palestinian territories of Gaza and West Bank would have a united purpose. Netanyahu believed that this would strengthen the movement for a two-state solution. The two-state solution means establishment of an independent Palestine, meaning that Israel would have to give up its control of West Bank and Gaza. All of this has been publicly confirmed by Israel's former Prime Minister Ehud Barak, who was also the commander of the Israel Defense Forces and served as the defense minister. In a recent interview with The Economist, Barak said that Netanyahu had a flawed strategy of keeping Hamas alive and kicking to weaken the Palestinian Authority. All of this so that Israel could not be pressurized by anyone into holding talks with Palestinians. This was also confirmed by former Egypt President Hosni Mubarak in 2019. He reportedly told a Kuwaiti newspaper that Netanyahu does not want the two-state solution to be implemented, and he does not believe in the land for peace principle. He wants to separate Gaza from the West Bank. To achieve this, Netanyahu has allegedly let huge sums of money go into Gaza for Hamas. An Israeli media report in 2019 said that Netanyahu had told his party leaders that whoever opposes the creation of a Palestinian state should support the flow of Qatari money into Gaza. He had said this to justify the decision to let Qatar regularly send cash into Gaza through Israel. However, Netanyahu had added that the government is supervising the cash flow to prevent it from going towards terrorist activities. But this does not seem to have been effective if we look at the scale of the October 7 attack. Netanyahu's subtle support for Hamas was not limited to political and financial spheres. The Prime Minister may have also allegedly prevented large-scale military operations to root out Hamas and its weapons infrastructure in Gaza. Israel and Hamas also fought a war in 2014. The Israel Defense Forces had then launched an operation called Protective Edge. In 2017, Israeli media published leaked transcripts of Israel's top leaders discussing the military action. Then Economy Minister Naftali Bennett had wanted a large-scale and severe attack on Hamas, but Netanyahu and a few other ministers wanted the action to be restrained. Bennett had reportedly pushed for a plan to destroy Hamas's underground tunnels in Gaza. These tunnels are now one of the biggest threats for the Israeli military if it goes into Gaza on foot. The hostages taken by Hamas on October 7 are also being kept in these tunnels. This underground maze is also used to store rockets, missiles, ammunition, and other weapons. Hamas has also set up its command and control centers in the tunnels. Similar claims were made in May 2022 when Netanyahu was out of power. Then Finance Minister Avigdor Lieberman had said that when Netanyahu was Prime Minister, he had rejected plans for targeted assassinations of Hamas leaders. Lieberman also said that Netanyahu had approved the release of Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar in 2011 in a prisoner exchange deal. Israeli forces now say that Yahya Sinwar is one of the masterminds of the October 7 attacks. The modern state of Israel came into existence mainly because of the British. The British were masters of the divide and rule policy in their colonies.